Prime Minister has lost control, yet he clings to power.
Justin Trudeau got so busy targeting the Indian government all these months, he forgot that his own country is facing some serious problems to deal with on the ground. And now it appears that his own government may just have to bow out now. Reports have surfaced that the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is expected to announce resignation anytime soon as the Liberal Party leader, and this is being reported by the Globe and Mail, citing sources. There is a key National Caucus meeting coming up on Wednesday, and could the announcement come in before that just in time? But think of this, when that happens, would it be the end game for Justin Trudeau? Because in all likelihood, it may bring early elections for the Western nation. What does that have to do with India? Justin Trudeau got so busy as a Prime Minister pandering to the pro-Khalistan extremists, even blaming India for the killing of one of those designated terrorists, that he forgot that back in Canada, there are real issues on the ground directly impacting people, including the one he appeared to be defending. Now, deteriorating economy is one of the top reasons, according to news surfacing, that has led to pressure mounting on him to resign. 20 of its own government MPs have vowed to topple his government because they are unhappy over the Canadian Prime Minister's handling of the economy. Poll surveys are showing that his popularity has been dipping. The fact is, let's agree, every nation will have its share of problems, but it's how the leader tries to at least handle it or make it worse that defines true leadership. Because in waiting right now are Pierre Poilievre, already amping up attack, giving feelers to other nations of how relationship between Canada and with that country could be if he becomes the Prime Minister. I asked Canada-based journalist Daniel Boardman about what he thinks is possibly the real reason on the ground about this escalated pressure on Justin Trudeau.
He's in the middle of so many crazy scandals that would have broken any other government in any other point of Canadian history. So the fact that he lost as a finance minister and deputy prime minister, where he was firing her from finance minister and wanted to make her like minister of sitting in the corner and doing nothing. And then she pulled the "you can't fire me, I quit" routine, and then sort of broke the Liberal Party into sort of two factions. And loosely it's said, okay, so Trudeau's faction, and the head of Trudeau's faction is Katie Telford, who is his chief of staff. And she runs a sort of unelected, what could you would describe as loosely, you could say like deep state or Canada deep province, where it's sort of the unelected power holders who sort of brought Trudeau up in the sort of like the prime minister's office, and those people holding power. And then you have the other faction, which are represented by Chrystia Freeland, and that's like the elected faction of the Liberals. So these are the sort of discontented MPs.
Donald Trump addressed Trudeau as a governor, Canada possibly as the 51st state of the United States of America, threatening on top of all of this heavy tax tariffs. So clearly Trudeau-Trump relationship is going to be fraught with dangers if Trudeau continues. And this is despite them being clear Western allies. Speculation over Trudeau's resignation comes days after finance minister of his government quit after there was a spat over the Trump tariff. Then of course comes in India, and one troubling episode after another, at least in the past 1 to 2 years. Allegation of Canada harboring Khalistan extremists, gangsters, criminals. India repeatedly providing dossiers on this, even asking for the extradition of some of these gangsters. But Trudeau was not convinced. There were serious attacks, and serial attacks, I would say, on Canadian Hindu temples by pro-Khalistan radicals. There were clear threats and banners that we have all seen, including the parades. In the Parliament, a sitting Prime Minister decided to blame India as if Canada, India are enemy nations. And for what? For Hardeep Singh Nijjar's killing, without solid proof against India. This pandering to a pro-Khalistan element on the Canadian soil only for a vote bank literally led to the raging diplomatic war with India led to mutual expulsion of senior diplomats. But this was worse for Indian diplomats because our officials, remember, were facing assassination threats. There were posters with death threats, gunshots on them. And then the temporary episode of the visa hiccups due to these troubled ties. So domestic tensions on one side, international differences on another. Can Justin Trudeau survive this development? We will be tracking. Thank you for watching.